morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is the man with the plan, drinking his coffee, Jeff.
Coke.
Whatever. I saw brown and just assumed coffee.
Well, it was supposed to be a chai tea, but we all know, you and I know what happened there.
Good morning, Joe. Yes, we are slightly behind schedule, but that's okay. We were solving the world's problems, and we can't share those solutions because they will be stolen by political people to say they came up with them first, and we refuse to allow that.
And last I heard, there's not a time clock we have to punch, so...
There is a time clock we have to punch, but it's a different kind of time clock.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. So, sorry about last week. That had sent me down a rabbit hole of trying to figure out what is wrong with my computer.
Well, I didn't even show. I had some stuff going on, so my apologies. But yeah, you went down a rabbit hole, buddy.
Oh yeah. Well, and that the problem when you didn't show is I couldn't refresh. I couldn't log out, log back in because it would have killed the show. That's why I just was like, all right. And it wasn't going to be a long stream anyways. I was like, I'll just go on. And I already had it scheduled. I'll just go on and say, hey, Jeff's sick. And sorry about everything. We'll be back next week.
I wouldn't wish chronic anemia on anybody because I get, if I even think, oh, look, a cold.
Yeah. So I went down a rabbit hole of like, why in the heck is my computer doing this? It can't be my internet because I don't have that many problems streaming television. Like I have usual buffering issues like with streaming, but it's not like to the nth degree that this has been happening.
Right.
So I actually started thinking, okay, what has changed? First thing that changed was I added a second monitor, disconnected the second monitor.
Right.
I had my lapel mics plugged in. I disconnected my lapel mics. I cleared my cache. I cleared my history. I unlogged out of everything, reestablished an internet connection under another. So we have our main internet connection. Then we have a guest internet connection. So I logged in under the guest internet connection to reestablish Wi-Fi. Did everything. So far, everything is doing A-OK.
Right.
Because normally
it's looking good now.
Well, thank you. I shaved.
Well, you always look good. The picture is now complimentary versus just blurring you out.
Yeah. So let's see. Because I actually took my MacBook into the shop to get the battery replaced and get some work done on it. Because I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pitch this whole mini and just go back to the MacBook and just go back to the good old days of when we were at the shop and we were streaming. But let's see if this stuff works. I don't think it's my internet. I honestly can't be my internet.
Well, it sounds to me like having a bandwidth issue, and that could be caused by a number of things.
Right. So, yeah. But the bandwidth issue would be like as much problems as I'm having with streaming. I would see that in other issues in my life.
Yeah, no, what I mean by that is something. I think you did the right thing because something on your MacBook was trying to occupy some of that bandwidth.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, because I had a login saved that way when I went to drive through RPG. It just automatically took me in. Good morning, David.
Morning, David. Oh, morning, Tim. I didn't notice you signed in. Morning, Tim.
It automatically took me into drive through RPG, and I was logged into my account. Like I had a lot of accounts set up for that kind of stuff. So I just wiped all that stuff out, deleted, my history, my cache, my saved passwords, everything was deleted, which made logging into a lot of my accounts complicated because I'm like, what was my password for this? We have to use Google for StreamYard. I can't use any other website.
No, it's got to be Google. Yeah, it's a Google thing. Yeah.
So we got to go through Chrome. I had 3 accounts opened up on Chrome. So I just wiped everything out. So let's fingers crossed that my limited IT brain figured out maybe some of the problems. So,
well, if you guys want any kind of indication what the weather's like here on the East Coast,
What was that?
I'm in my studio.
Uh-huh.
Both windows. I normally have the blinds pulled.
Right.
Both windows are completely open, and it's still dark.
You are looking a little dark.
Yeah, because we've had nothing but cloud cover. I just bought a car.
Okay.
So there's a ton of work I need to do to get it to the state inspection before I can take it down there. But it's been like this every day. So I haven't had a chance to get it done. So yeah.
Makes it kind of hard to get any work done if it's cloudy. Is it rainy, cloudy, or just what?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You got everything going on.
Rainy, cloudy, windy, cold. Yeah, so it's been a mess.
We're going to be in the 90s today, so
we had 2 days where it got in the mid 70s. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that went. It went away. So.
What do you have to do to the car?
I just got a lot of little things to do. Like I gotta polish the headlight lenses because when you buy a new car and you get new plates, it's got to go through not an emissions test. It does an emissions test, but it's also got to go through a safety inspection for the first set of tags.
Yeah.
And so I've got to have the headlights have got to be such level of brightness. Emergency brakes got to work. All that stuff. It goes through everything. Wipers have got to work. All the safety stuff, as well as mechanical things. So I have to do the headlights. Just got to polish the lenses up, which is not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But I got to sit up there. It takes a long time. So I got to sit up there and do this, and it's raining. I can't do it.
Wax on, wax off.
Pretty much. I got to put it does have it's got a hole in one of the exhaust pipes.
Okay.
So I got to go put a sleeve on that and then put that. So I got to be underneath the car.
Duct tape comes to the rescue.
Huh?
Duct tape comes to the rescue.
Well, unfortunately, no, because they put it on a hoist, and I have to put an actual
sleeve
over it or replace the whole pipe.
I like
I can't use that lovely little muffler tape you can go buy.
I like what Joe said. Windy, rainy, cloudy, cold.
Dopey, sneezy, bad. That's how it's been. And then the other thing that's driving me up a wall, since we're on that topic, I'm doing a lot of painting, but it's nothing I can show anybody.
No.
So I've been squeezing in some time to work on my Dreadnought, and I'm working on other projects.
I saw you posted pictures of your Dreadnought.
Yeah, I have them for today. I have them on today's show because I've done some more work on the Dreadnought conversion. And I've got other commissions that I'm working on, but they're not done yet. So I'm not going to show those till they're finished. And the stuff I have finished, which are really kind of cool. I can't show. I haven't got permission to show the models yet.
Well, maybe next week.
Hopefully not. Fingers crossed.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't.
You can with the other hand though.
Well, that only gives you half a luck.
Half a luck is better than what I got now.
You're number one. You're number one.
Yes, you're number 1.5.
That's better than being number one. You got
absolutely better than being number one. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
So other than that, that's that. I mean, and other than that, things have been pretty. I mean, we talked a little bit. I recently had a friend pass away. I'm going to a funeral tomorrow, which I despise funerals, but as you get older, you go to more of them. So
it sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it happens. It's life.
I forgot to ask you. Who are you painting Dungeon Saga for? Is it someone you know?
It's for the Dungeon Saga stuff is for one of my commission guys, Marcelo.
Is he like someone that does a lot of stuff with you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that's the Kings of War, Kings.
Yeah. He's had last couple things he's had me do are a couple Kings of War projects.
That's it, Kings of War. Okay.
Yeah. This is. I haven't even started yet, but this is the.
Yeah, mine showed up.
Yep.
So I talked last week a little bit.
Yep.
I think, and mine showed up, and I got the Kickstarter edition just like that.
Yep.
So inside of it, I don't know if he took it. He already opened his. Did he leave the artwork in there?
Yeah, everything's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make dice trays out of the artwork.
Ooh, nice.
If you want, I can make one for him.
If you wouldn't mind, that would be great.
Yeah, there's only 3 pieces of art. I'm keeping the main piece of art, but I can do the dwarf or one of the other one. I'll probably do the dwarf because it's actually pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, because I don't need 3. Like I'm not a big fan of like art prints. Ooh, I'm gonna hang these on my wall. I'm not 15 anymore. I don't hang posters on my wall.
Yeah, well, I can't say I have Space Wolf stuff all over the walls.
Well, my wife won't let
Well,
me hang posters on the wall.
yeah, you have that.
So I will be so I'll work. I already got the trays. I already assumed you were going to say yes, make me one.
Well, you may know of one other tray I want you to make.
I'm oblivious.
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
hang on.
Don't know what you're talking about, sir.
I think you're right. If anybody's paying attention,
Yes.
a good friend of mine commissioned this for me. He even sent a picture of me for the face on the Thunderwolf calf. But that is now my
your official logo. You are official logoed, because what was your logo before? Wasn't it
it's just the wolf with the paintbrush, the wolf head with his paintbrush in his mouth?
Yeah, that was commissioned also though.
Yeah, a friend of mine in Arizona did that for me, and I love it. I'm not getting rid of it. But this is the one that I just fell in love with it. And if you look really closely, that's an artist opus brush.
I didn't know you used artist opus brush.
I don't, but I will be soon.
You have to, because it's in your logo. You can't. That would be kind of wrong if you didn't use the artist. Now,
truth in advertising, baby.
I can say I use artist opus brushes because I have the dry brush series.
Right.
But I would be curious to see how their actual paintbrushes hold up.
Well, I'm probably going to be picking up a set soon. And again, this did not inspire me to use them. I've always wanted to, but I've just never taken the plunge and actually spent the money.
Right, because they're not cheap.
No, they're not cheap. So, but that was enough for me to go, okay, I got to try these brushes. But this is my new Old Wolf Studios logo. Stickers are actually in the mail.
How did he send that to you?
Well, here's the thing. I have the actual art print.
Okay.
It's an actual art print, but then I took a picture of it, and then had a buddy of mine in Arizona, Brian, Joe knows him. He went through and did a several sticker versions for me. He cleaned up some of the background, and he did a T-shirt version for me. So I've got like 6 different electronic versions of this, either in JPEG, PNG files. I think it's PNG. That have no background, and then I've got an enlarged one so I can make it for the back of a T-shirt.
Well, send me a copy of it,
okay,
and I will make you a coffee mug.
Ooh, coffee mug.
Well, you can use it for cleaning your paintbrushes.
I can, or drinking tea.
Or drinking tea. Good morning, Jake.
Morning, Jake. But yeah, that's my new Old Wolf Studios logo. I'm in love with it. Amos had a commission for me. I was, as always, as you guys know from the stream, my life, like a roller coaster. My life has ups and downs.
Yes.
And quite frankly, though, there's not a person that watches this show that if my roller coaster was actually turned into a roller coaster, you would not be able to survive it. But so I was just having a rough time, and Amos had that commission for me, and he kept telling me, he goes, I have a surprise on the way, but he wouldn't tell me what it was, and I was, for the life, he couldn't figure it out. And knowing Amos, it could have been anything.
Right.
And he showed me that, and I was like, oh my god, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Jake's saying there's a whole that Jeff's got some cool merch coming. So
yeah, I'm working with Jake right now on putting together a T-shirt order. Because he knows a couple suppliers. Because I don't want to use one of the T-shirt companies.
No, the print tees,
the print to order, because the T-shirt quality is. I mean, I've actually bought a couple from them, and after one wash and dry, the shirt doesn't fit right. It's all out of whack.
I did one from Sticker Mule. I did Sticker Mule, which I love. Sticker Mule as a sticker company, love them to death. But I did their shirt print, and it was like as soon as I washed it, the shirt really, it's like. Yeah, like I was shopping in the preteen section. Like it just was like, this doesn't fit anymore. Like I'm not a preteen, and it wasn't a good quality. The shirt just felt cheap.
Yeah, so, yeah. So that I don't want to go that route. So I'm gonna pony up some cash and have some actual shirts that I'll ship out from here. This is going to be on the back. Is what I want. This on the back, and I really would like to get my old logo, the wolf head with the brush on the breast, but I'm not made of money. I know I act like it sometimes with all the crap I buy. So I may have to alter that a bit just to kind of keep my costs in check. So.
Yeah. And Jake's right. That's why the shirts are affordable. Like I think you can get a shirt on Sticker Mule for like $10, but it's just a cheap shirt. Yeah. Now with Andy's abilities to do everything she's got, like she could actually print this stuff out and we can just iron it on. Like she's got the ability to make iron-on type stuff. Right. But whenever I buy printed tees, the first thing I feel is how it's printed, because you ever feel some of them that feels like this isn't really in the material. It's just laying on top of the material. It's like really thick. And I'm like, I don't like those.
Well, when I started really serious, when I got this and okay, I got to get tees now. I had just like less than 2 or 3 weeks prior to this, I got the Build Pay Play shirts, which are fantastic tees. So I reached out to Dave, who I should have realized, then sent me to Jake.
Right.
So Jake has been helping. I'll get you that list this week, Jake, and we'll talk more about price and whatnot and what I can afford, what I can't afford.
And he's, transfers aren't bad, but full silk screen is the way to go. So if he's hooking you up with a silk screen company, and they're going to do like a shirt, or dude, those are going to be top notch.
Now I did have another thought while I was doing these. You and I probably want to sit down and maybe think about getting some serious what's new with Mike and Jeff shirts.
Sure. Because ours would be simple. It's just black. Like we don't have any color to it. It's just black, like our souls. It'd just be an easy print job.
Mine's more of a Corvus black than an actual black. I've got some shades in there.
You got some shades in that. Yeah. Mine's a black like my soul. So.
Well, we all have to have some skills.
Yeah. Well, and I don't have I should probably think about getting a logo. I don't really go by the Greenskins anymore, even though that's the name I still use on a lot of stuff.
Right. You're still an Orky guy.
Still an Orky guy, so I can still go by the Greenskins. But
what I need to do is I need to contact the artist that did mine, and have him do the Greenskin on a dinosaur.
Well, my buddy Jason did a logo, but it's just one of those like you buy the logo type thing, and he just kind of cleaned it up, modified it a little bit, and just put my name on it. So that was simple. It was nice. It was like something for my YouTube channel, which is it works. But I like what that your friend did, man. That art design.
Yeah, the guy's out of the UK, and it's on it's not a 5x7. But it's also not a full sheet. And it's really nice. And I got to find out. I got to talk to Amos on Monday when I'm back at Battlefront on getting a hold of the guy. And there's a couple other pieces I may do. And I actually thought about getting something for you, but I was going to talk to you about the green skin and what you want to do. But I'm not sure what your main game. It used to be we could always count on you to be the orc player.
And I still am the orc player. Now I guess I could say Wadru. That's my new faction. And I still have my orcs for 40K and fantasy. I still, that is my primary thing. I dabbled, I experimented with custodes. Is that
during your college days?
My college days, but I didn't inhale. I
didn't go to college, and I did.
I didn't lick the paintbrushes when I was painting them. Really?
Oh God.
No, I didn't do that. But I dabbled in custodes because they were new, they were fresh. I liked the lore behind the custodes, so that's kind of why I jumped on them. But yeah, I'm kind of over that phase.
Well, we should then, if you're over that phase, you should still capture that history, and instead of being Doug Greenskin, go with the original.
The original, the OG,
the OG
Greenskins. Yes. Well, that all came like from my blogging days, like back in the day, a bunch like Tim and Rob and myself and Tom and Howard.
Most of our viewers will not know what blogging is.
we used to keep a blog page for all of our hobby stuff, and that's kind of how we communicated with what everybody was working on. And it's just kind of like the stream, but in text format and picture format. And I had to come up with a name. I'm like, I had the greenskins. Like, that's how I came. It was just one of those, like, there was no real deep thought. It was like, I play orcs on everything.
Right.
So that's how, like, and then I moved on from that, deleted that blog page, and went on to other things in life.
I can go back to, I just had it in my head. I used to play a game called Trade Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Bulletin board.
Oh, the old bulletin board.
The old bulletin board stuff. Yeah,
the good old days.
Yeah.
And that was all purely text. Like, you didn't have anything. It's not until forums came along that we actually got to add photos and do more. And that's all. And believe it or not, that's all Discord is. Like, people are like, oh, join. It's like, oh, we got forums back. It's just now all captured into like an app type thing, and you can have multiple like places, because there used to be a really great and active Arizona forum just for Arizona gaming. Right. But forums died just like everything else.
I recently been JP Got Rockets. I can't think of. I think his first name is Josh. I could be wrong because my memory is failing. He actually put some pictures. I got some pictures from him that he put on our Discord. But I've been jumping on. He does a Tuesday night Twitch stream. And I went to reactivate my Twitch account because I haven't used Twitch in forever. But I wanted to pop in to see his stream right after I got done watching Bill Payne play. And I couldn't remember what my old login stuff was. And I got a new phone, and so it's not on my new phone. So I had to recreate one. So that's where I went. I went with the original Old Wolf. And that's we got to go with the original Greenskin.
There you go. There you go.
So,
well, my wife and I were tempted to go buy new phones, like, and the whole, because our phones are old, dude. I got like an iPhone 12 or something.
Right. Yeah.
It's like 5 years old or whatever.
I got my phone that I have now. It was a Galaxy 6.
Yeah.
They're like on Galaxy 24s now or something like that.
Yeah. And but the first thing that ran in my, like, we'll do it if we go by the AT&T store and there's nobody inside, so we don't have to like go through the hassle. Like, they can help us, they can set, because last time we bought new phones, it took like 4 hours. I don't know. It was just like we store forever, and I'm like, why is this so complicated? I get it. There's stuff that has to happen, but it's like, I don't want to go through all that.
Well, there's a dispensary here in Elkton because they've legalized marijuana. And I have been using gummies at night to help with my back pain, help me sleep.
Sure.
And they're only 10 milligrams.
Right.
And they got melatonin in them, which helps me go to sleep. But to go to the dispensary here in Elkton, it's like you have to plan a day trip. It's less than a mile from my house, and I'm going to be gone 3 hours.
That's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Is it because it's the only one, or is it because
there's only one in Elkton? Which the ironic part was I'm in line checking out, and they're really different. Have you ever been to a state store?
A state.
Okay, in Ohio, to get hard liquor, anything above wine.
Okay.
You had to go to a state store.
Okay.
And literally, you walk in. It's a white room. Everything's white. It's like they could put a barcode on the window and just say room. It's a generic room. There's a cash register and a one of those roller conveyors. It's not a belt, but it's one of those where they have the different wheels. And there's one of those running down one wall, and there's a curtain right behind the cash register. And you tell the person what you want, you pay for it, and then all of a sudden a box with all your hard liquor comes sliding out this wheel conveyor. The dispensaries here are very similar. You have to go in, you have to wait in line, and you have to do all these things. And then you go to the register. You can't walk around and shop. You have to stand in front of the register and then tell the lady what you're looking for. And then they bring you up samples to look at. Right. And then if you decide you don't want it, they take it back. So I'm standing in line. I'm going, man, this is not like Arizona. I said, when they legalized in Arizona, overnight we had dispensaries on every corner.
Yeah.
They
And
were
you
everywhere.
walk in, you could browse, you could shop, you could smell, you could do anything.
And the guy at the register next to me he goes, I know, right? And I went, you're from Arizona? He goes, yeah. He goes, this is weird. I went, it is. It's insane.
But is that the liquor thing really is that because the state just has some weird regulation on selling liquor?
I'm going to put it in the best way that I can. It's one of the things you're into when you're in the Bible Belt.
Oh, that makes sense.
You can't buy hard liquor on Sunday. You can't buy alcohol, and it used to be. This was years ago. I don't know if Ohio is still the same, but you couldn't buy alcohol on Sunday.
Right.
Period. Which meant Saturday afternoon and evening you could not get into the liquor store.
Everybody's there.
And anything of a grain alcohol like whiskey, bourbon, scotch, all those, you had to go to a state-run store called a state store. And that's how you got your hard liquors.
But who owns the state store?
The state.
It could just be a tax revenue thing as well, or a revenue thing.
Well, yes, under the guise of public safety or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, they were called state stores. They're run by the state, so they got you on the actual cost of the item as well as the tax.
Yeah, so they get a little bit of profit on that.
Now, I don't know if that's still that way because Ohio is Ohio, and I haven't been there forever, and there's a reason why. I couldn't get to the moon, so I went to Arizona.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's really
because
bizarre.
Here you just go to Circle K on the corner and you can buy whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, you remember when I decided to stop drinking?
Yes.
And I had to change my route home because of and also the grocery store I went into, one side of the grocery store was the liquor side. So I had to start going the other side just not to tempt myself.
Right.
I wouldn't drink anymore. And it's insane. But here it's like Maryland said, we're going to legalize marijuana, maybe.
Kind of. So we're not going to make it easy on you.
Yeah, and then I went online to see do they sell gummies? Can I get gummies over the counter? Because I wasn't sure.
Right.
Because I don't do any of that anymore. But I thought, man, that might help my back because I can't do the other stuff.
Right.
And they literally like 3 pages of the criteria for gummies came up, and it's like, oh my god. And so so they can only sell unless I got a medical card. Because that's the way Maryland has done it. If you got a medical card, you can get anything you want.
Right.
If you don't have a medical card, you can still buy, but they regulate the milligrams.
Right. Which is kind of probably how it's supposed to be. Like there's got to be some sort of regulation.
I'm not arguing with the yays or nays about it. It's just that it's literally we're going to legalize marijuana, maybe.
Kind of. We're thinking about it. Well,
we're going to legalize marijuana a little bit.
Yeah, eventually this is going to have to reach the federal level and just end the debate.
Well, yeah, it does because stores like that can't use banks because they're federally insured, and because of federal law they can't. It's a mess. But it was just funny because I'm standing in line and I go, man, in Arizona this is much easier. And the guy next to me goes, I know, right? And he had his Arizona license that just moved up.
Yeah.
I said, when they legalized it in Arizona, I mean, literally overnight dispensaries just bam.
Arizona puts some restrictions on like how many could be within a range of a spot and I think the reason we saw so many of them popped up is one of the laws that I agree with when I don't agree that we legalized it, period, end of story. That's just a me thing as for recreational. But the thing that really got me was the growing of it. And I think that's why they opened up so many dispensaries, because you could not grow it if there was a dispensary so close to your home. Right. And that was a good thing because I didn't want to live next door to someone with 10-foot tall marijuana plants in their backyard. And that's all I could smell all day. Like, because the stuff stinks to high heaven when it's in plant.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a great smell.
No. So I kind of was like, I'm glad they opened the dispensaries because at least now it's in a little bit more of like it's 20 miles. Like if there's a dispensary within 20 miles, right, you can't grow so much. Like there's a limitation on what you can grow. And it's like you're allowed like 1 or 2 plants or something like
Yeah,
that.
a lot of states also went to the lottery system when they opened that. And what I mean by that is if you wanted to open a dispensary in the state, they had X number of licenses to give out, and so they had to go to kind of a lottery. But yeah, that was my big gummy story.
Well, let's just face it, it's all corporate now anyways. Like all the
Pretty much.
corporations came in and bought all the dispensaries and
I can tell you exactly what happened. Colorado did it.
right.
You know, they were the one of the big few first ones, and the other states went legalizing marijuana. Colorado, yeah, we made this much money in taxes. How much?
And that again, that's why I think it needs to go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is there's a lot of other things because it's not regulated with growth. So there needs to be some regulations in the growing of it so that like we understand what you're getting. Like bath salts were legal too, and look what that did. Anyways, off of that subject.
I don't want to get into that aspect of it, but yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny though.
Do we want to look at the pictures?
Yeah.
Other pictures we have? I'm very excited about today's show because David's actually painting some stuff.
Oh my gosh, David is blowing up on the painting.
He is painting. He's painting and painting and painting.
Yes.
Speaking of David,
that's
awesome.
Now this obviously is a work in progress.
Yes,
he's got some of those.
It's gorgeous.
He's probably went out to his front yard and picked up some rocks for basing, because those look like real rocks.
I do that all the time too. The difference is, though, I still paint mine.
Oh, I'm sure he'll paint his.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that wasn't a criticism of that. Just because a lot of people don't realize that when you go grab rocks, they don't look scale.
Yeah, they don't look right. But look at that.
It's looking good.
Getting some stuff done.
Looking really good. Come on, computer, work with me here. Yep, there's some more stuff.
That's almost like an army.
Oh, it's getting close.
Yeah,
getting close. He may have enough done that when I come out in the fall, he and I can play again.
Yeah, and these all those are the orcs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he actually commented on it, and I forgot to write it down. So there's
his boss.
They're all looking really good, David. Keep it up, big man.
Love that pose with the 2 knives.
Yeah, I think he's just screaming, "Bring it,
bring it!" I gotcha.
Looking really good. I think that's the last one he did.
Yeah, and he still, it looks like the one on the right still needs some basing work. I think he mentioned that.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting some orcs. I don't know if these I think are the goblins. These are the new goblins.
Yeah, they're called. Yeah, they're like a version. They say gob something. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, they're really cool. They're looking really cool. Well done, David.
Getting some painting done. No more gray.
Yeah.
Wash that gray away.
And Don has been busy painting his paintball gun, which is awesome.
Airsoft gun, but look at his flame job though. That's an amazing.
That looks great. It looks fantastic.
I tried to get him to paint the minivan that color. Well,
I saw that. He was like, "Yeah, his wife wouldn't handle it."
But that's
really good looking stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
I think he is doing paintball, right?
That's paintball. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the airsoft.
Yeah, it's paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know Don was into paintball.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he and I ever played, but I played quite a bit of paintball when I was out in Arizona with a friend of mine named Brad. I'm not sure if Don and I ever played. My memory's just that bad.
Yeah.
But I've known Don. I know Don plays.
We used to Hobgrot slits.
Hobgrot. Oh yeah.
Slitzaz.
For Age of Sigma.
Age of Sigma. So now his flame job matches his gun.
Yep, looks good.
Yeah, very nice. I love his backyard dirt.
There you go. Can't beat that.
Nothing to take care of.
It is Arizona.
Yeah.
It's looking really good, buddy. Looking really nice.
Love it. Just love it.
And this is for the guy mentioned earlier, JP Got Rockets. I think his name is Josh. I could be wrong. JP, if you're watching, I apologize. But yeah. And this is the model he was working on his stream Tuesday night.
Very cool.
It looks really good.
Love that model.
Yep. It was a nice model.
Classic model.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And look at this.
Ah, my table. Yes, this is the table I was talking. This is my new gaming table.
Yeah.
So that's and it's a class, it's got chess on the cover has a chessboard on it,
Right.
just a flat cover. And then there's the backgammon section, which you're looking at here. But I ended up just making a new false bottom like that, plopped it in there,
Now,
and
is that the one that you made?
yeah, I made that. It's just a piece of ply
Right.
stretched over some
Okay.
felt. You just use thumbtacks to tack it all down, no glue or anything like that.
Right.
It's just thumbtacked and just set it in. Cut the corners so that way I can pick the top up if I want to.
Right.
And it's 29 by 29, so that gives me any of the skirmish style games that you play on a 2x2 board. I have plenty of room for.
Right.
Some of my board games, not all my board games, will fit in there. Hero Quest does not fit in there because it's like 29 and a half inches. Damn it.
There you go.
But anyways, and then the overall length is 40 by 40. There's the chessboard. It's
Yep.
40 by 40, but because the edges are cut kind of, they're routed and they're cut with a design, it's probably more like 38 by 38.
Right.
But for what I paid for it and what I'm going to be able to do with it, I'm super happy. It was only $300.
It looks great.
Yeah, for a little gaming table that Andy and I can do some card games on and play some board games on, because I had a round. It's weird because my round table that was in there was bigger. It was
Right.
2 inches, but it didn't feel right playing on it because it was round.
Yeah.
And it just like, I felt like I didn't have as much real estate because you put the big board in the middle and then you just got like this round section. Having it square, I feel like I'm picking up a little real estate.
I've got about a 4-foot diameter round table in my
Right.
dining room that I don't have the tools for it. So I've asked my son-in-law, he just hasn't got around to doing it yet, that I wanted him to build a square overlay.
Yeah.
That had an area in the bottom of it underneath it that I could put that round table in, cover it with felt, put that on my table and play on that. So
Yeah. So that's what I got. And this is kicked off. This has kind of launched a renovating of the house. Not
renovations.
I'm gonna rearrange my room and do a little painting and touch up, fix some holes in the wall.
It's good.
And it's just gonna kick off some work. But yeah, I'm excited about that. And I love it because on the bottom of it, there's these little brass push rods that you push up to push the top off.
Oh yeah,
It's just really, it's just
that's a nice little find. That's one of those finds that are really nice when you're out doing that kind of shopping.
Yeah, and it's not an antique table. Like I could blow out the bottom of the backgammon board,
right?
And put on a new bottom that's flat, so I'd have more height in the bottom of it. But maybe one day I might want to learn how to play backgammon.
Backgammon's a fun game. I played my wife and I used to play it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game.
Yeah, I didn't feel like destroying the table. Like
oh yeah, absolutely not.
What I did, I think will work just fine. And yeah.
Oh, it's good, buddy. Well done.
And the cover's on there, so my cat's done. There's the covered side, so it doesn't look like a gaming table.
So the chessboard you can flip over.
Yeah, you can flip it over.
Awesome.
Yeah, not a bad little find.
No, that's not at all. And you've done, and that board, that nice green felt board you put there, looks really nice too.
Yeah, so I can play little skirmish games or whatever.
Yeah, very good, very nice.
And then my dudes.
Now, what game are these for?
These are Stargrave models. So
okay,
my buddy Jason and I are gonna run through some Stargrave games. So these are just their North Star miniature models. Just went with a gray base, not getting too creative with that because it's going to be sci-fi. And
what scale are they?
They're normal 28 mil.
Okay.
So, but these are just all my specialist groups. So when you like Stargraves, like Legends of the Old West,
right?
You have a boss model and you have your dudes. You may have some guys with some special abilities. So I made these are all my specialist guys, like my hackers and my heavy guns and my snipers and things like that.
Yeah.
I put them all in red shirts because that way they stand out on the table. But I'm only going to use like 3 of them. So that's my medic.
Awesome.
So just simple, easy paint jobs using a lot of the Army Painter speed paints, and then doing our what we like to call our own style of speed paint or slap chop.
Yeah, they look great. They look
Yeah.
great.
Simple,
And
easy.
this is a medic who has nothing to do, so he's going to shoot a guy.
Well, he wants something to do, so he's gonna go shoot
Yeah,
a guy.
I'm gonna shoot you in the leg because I want to make sure I can take care of it.
Well, they didn't have a hand holding a scalpel. So I didn't know what else to go with. So
Well, we now know he's not a conscientious objector.
yeah,
He's willing to get in there and get elbow deep in it. So.
Yeah, so he didn't take the oath. Like this guy's got a wrench, so he's like a hacker, but he's a mechanical. Like you have a mechanical hacker and a digital hacker, or like a computer hacker.
Right.
So that's why I made him with the wrench, because he does the mechanical hacking.
Oh, looks great.
Yeah, so just fun stuff. And then he's a shotgunner.
Yeah, my favorite weapon in the world, shotgun.
Oh my gosh. And nothing scares a criminal more than the racking of a shotgun.
I was in one of Darren's Cyberpunk games. God, this is back in like 92, 93. We played Cyberpunk once a week. And my Cyberpunk character Dune carried an auto shotgun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, that was his weapon of choice. So yeah, I love the shotgun.
Yeah, street sweeper, man. Boom, 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 boom. Everything's gone. Everybody's buckshot.
All right, what do they call him in Tombstone? The street howitzer?
Street howitzer. Well, I think that was a 16 gauge.
Yeah.
That's enough. And then what was it? Billy the Kid. I don't know if this is legendary, if there's any truth behind the legend of putting coins, I think it was dimes or something like that, into the shotgun shell. So I don't know if that's accurate and how well that.
Well, here's the thing. I always go by the philosophy of print the legend.
There you go.
But no, they look good, buddy. Well done.
Simple, easy paint jobs.
Hey. Well, speaking of Amos, that's the gentleman that provided me with the lovely artwork you saw earlier.
Oh, that was fabulous.
Yeah, so Amos has joined us. But yeah, those look really good, bud.
Yeah, just
really good.
Yeah, I'm not putting a lot of effort into it.
Couldn't tell it. They look good.
Thank you. Just staying in the lines.
And this is my Dreadnought conversion I've been working on.
Love it. Now, is this for your current army that you're doing? Your
with 10th edition, under the Space Wolf Codex, I'm actually building right now my Wolf Spear.
Right.
So there are named characters in the Space Wolf chapter, and one of the ways 10th works is I can use those named characters with the same stats under a so essentially there are different characters with the same stats.
Okay. Like
they're not this is actually my answer to Bjorn the Fell-Handed for my Wolf Spear.
Got
it. And he is called Fenrir the Merciless. And that's why he's holding that orc down with his foot.
Well, and I find that wrong. But anyway, I'm thinking when you were building this, you're like, oh, I know how I'll get back at Mike. I'll just put it on.
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. You know me. I like tactical rocks, tactical orcs. I like on the larger bases. I like to build as close to a diorama as I can with the space that you got.
Sure.
Like I've got one Redemptor that has a scout kneeling and pointing, and the Dreadnought, his legs are pointed one way, but his torso is the other. Like the scout's going over there, and he's turned. I like to have that little story on the larger bases.
It's just making it a little bit more scenic. I just think it's completely wrong that that's an orc model being crushed, but whatever. I'm just
holding him down.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the end result of this scene.
We don't know that at the moment in time.
Yeah, it's like all the videos.
I bought the Black Templar model because that model has a Black Templar driving a two-handed sword, and there's a gouge in the torso, in the chest of the orc. I've got to fill that. But I kept saying I had no desire to paint the model because it's Black Templar. I bought it because I wanted the base. I wanted that orc, and that went, and that was what I came up with. And you're right. The minute he goes to take another, when he put weight on that foot, that the orc's going to be splattered.
And he doesn't have to put a lot of weight on that foot. All he's got to do is just a little bit of weight, and he's just.
Yeah.
And then he. Well, here's the good thing about it, though. Once you do that, you just have to realize the can of worms you're going to open up. The mist of all the blood will spray all over the place and become mushrooms to grow more orcs.
Well, there you go. So I'm actually perpetuating the orcdom.
You're repopulating the earth with orcs. Just
there you go. There you go.
Just letting it be out there.
Now, what I'm trying to decide is the weapon I'm scratch building for this, because Bjorn has a Hellfrost cannon as an option for his arm. The only other weapon, the only other vehicle in the Space Wolf Codex that has a Hellfrost cannon is the Storm Wolf.
Right.
Or the Storm Fang.
So you have to buy one of those?
Well, here's what I did. Here is I zoomed in. Hang on a minute.
Zoom out. There it is.
That is my scratch built version of the Dreadnought size Hellfrost cannon.
Sweet.
Which this back half is a plasma cannon.
Okay.
This is the front of the Hellfrost cannon from the Stormwolf.
Okay.
And then this piece here in the center is actually this piece that you put in the you put this in the Stormfang.
Right. You just
so I literally I cut these two big pieces out, and put them here.
Right.
Put them together like a barrel.
Right.
And then this is all blue tacked together. And then this is where I'm at with it right now.
So you're just using some epoxy sculpt to shape it and reform it.
Yeah, this is together.
Right.
Then I've made this piece here that I'm going to try to sand on this a little bit today to kind of get it smooth, and clean it up. I've got putty everywhere. I got to clean up everything else. But that's where I'm headed with it right now.
Very nice. So you're going to have your own custom weapon.
Yeah, it's going to be my own. It's going to be because you can't get a Hellfrost cannon by itself. But like I filled in this with green stuff, and then not with green stuff, with epoxy sculpt, and then I made this bridge across the top with epoxy sculpt to hide the seams.
Yeah.
And the bottom lines up smooth enough that I can actually leave that without that big thing.
Right.
And I can sand that smooth.
Look at that. Very nice.
I'm a long way from having it done. And then the other weapon I have to do is I'm using a Brutalis Dreadnought for the base. So one of the arms has got to be True Claw, which is the lightning claw that Bjorn uses, but it's got extended long claws. So I think we're done.
Lightning claw with a manicure.
With a big manicure. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. So what I've done here is I've etched out my claws that I'm going to be cutting these out, which will be the top portion of the claw. And then I'm going to take another piece and make a curved underneath frame to hold it in a curve. And then actually mount that to the fingers of the lightning claw, the Brutalis claws on his weapon, and have them extended out. So.
Very nice.
That's where I'm at with that.
Well, I can't wait to see. And this is what some people have been talking a little bit about on some of the different channels that I watch about customizing stuff and the old way of like converting stuff and cool stuff. So it's nice to see you doing that, bringing back the conversion.
Yeah, I'm doing that for like here's what it looks like. I didn't put the actual pin in. If I can actually get this up there where you can actually see it.
Yeah.
But there it is. Whoop.
Look at that. It's gonna look nice, dude.
Yeah, it's nice. It's the right size. I mean, if you compare it to like here's a existing plasma gun.
Right.
Then here's this one.
Up.
So when you add that muzzle on the front of it, they're about the same length. I just got to do a lot more sanding, smooth this out. And I had to fill some air bubbles in here, but it's come along quite nicely.
Joe has told us he's making a return next week. He just took some pictures. Very cool. Can't wait to see what you've been working on, Joe. I know you've been quick, and it'll be nice to see your work.
Yeah.
So we should make a big announcement
Uh-oh.
IOG is going to be hosting its annual garage sale. That has made a return.
Yeah.
Some of the things have changed, though. It's not going to be a weekend. It's just going to be a one-day event. It's going to be on Sunday, June 9th. So this is obviously if you're local. But it's going to, like, the garage sale Darren hosts is always a huge success.
Oh, yeah, it's gigantic.
And and I think one of the bigger, well, first of all, like on the west side, he's the only one that does it. There's a couple of the shops on the east side that do their mercenary markets and things like that. And so this is on the west side, which has a lot of gamers, and it's opened up to everybody and anybody. Like, you can sell whatever you want. If you got a bunch of books you want to sell, if you rent a table, you can sell, as long as they're appropriate books, I guess would be the only caveat to that.
Wasn't Darren the first guy in the Valley to start doing something like that years ago?
And everybody copies Darren. Like, you've got to love Darren's success as a shop, because he is the trendsetter for a lot of the things that take place in the Valley, or the things that people are doing. It's like, yeah, Darren's already done that 100 times, or I'll say the group at IOG has done that 100 times. Darren is the approver of everything. It's his shop. He's got to approve it. But usually these are ideas that come from employees and things like that. So that's going to be on June 9th. It's going to be a Sunday. Go on to the Facebook group that will have all the information. Or if you want to chime in, if you want to rent a table, with when they're going to start taking reservations and all that good stuff, it's all on the Facebook page. But yeah, it's back. I will not be able to attend. Ends at 1 p.m. When's it start though?
When they open?
Probably. Well, but Sunday's usually different. Sunday hours are different. So I think they're still opening at 10 or 11, but it's going to be short, condensed. Right. And the 9 a.m. So 9 to 1. There you go. Right. One of the challenges Darren had with the Gamers Garage sale was, for the longest time, the strip mall it didn't have as many businesses, and the type of businesses that were there, it really wasn't an issue if the parking lot was full of cars. Yeah. But times have changed. There's more businesses there that rely on parking spaces, because the Gamers Garage sale would pack the parking lot. I mean, literally pack the parking lot. And so
there were a lot of complaints.
Well, not complaints from customers,
other retailers.
So that caused issues. So going to a Sunday makes sense, and going from 9 to 1 makes sense, because now it's a condensed. Yeah, it was like an all-day thing, and the parking lot would be packed all day long.
I remember when you and I were doing the show, he had one. Remember, we actually did the footage of the line that had formed outside.
It was crazy,
huge line.
Mm-hmm.
And you spent a lot of my money.
Yes, I did. I'm really good at spending your money when these events take place. So if you are local, if you want to go check it out, it's always a fun event.
Fantastic. You'll find some cool stuff too.
You'll find all kinds of random stuff. People just clearing out stuff that they've had. It's a good time to find maybe some of those old models to finish out a collection. Maybe that board game that's out of production, you might stumble across it, not at eBay prices. It's like, look, I've got to get rid of this stuff. I've got to, I could have my own Gamers Garage sale.
You and I both could actually do like a month's worth. We could rent someplace for a month
and clear it out
and have a garage sale.
But it's happening, so that's exciting news. I wanted to go if I would, but I'm taking that week off. I go back to taking a week off prior, so I don't think my boss would look too fondly about me taking another day off right after coming back from a week vacation. And I don't need more stuff because I buy. Oh, here we go. Do you want a table? Call the store and place a reservation. We will not be accepting table reservations. Facebook, Messenger, email, text, blah, blah, blah. I'll start taking place. So call the store on the 20th of May. So. And yes, they're
there you go.
Only doing store stuff because that way they got everything right there. There's no like, well, I sent something through Messenger. Not everybody has access to Messenger. Not everybody has access to a text that Darren's cell phone. So no, call the store on the 20th.
There's another human problem that comes with that, because a guy will come in and say, hey, where's my table? And then say, well, we don't have you down. And he'll go, but I emailed, but I texted, but it's like, no, go face to face. And yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And Tim's asking if you can call. I would assume walking in to get a table would be just the same.
Right.
But yeah, they just don't want text messages, email, because not all the employees have access to that information, and he doesn't want to overbook the event.
Yeah, absolutely.
And end up with problems. $25 for a table, which is cheap. And the other thing is none of this. So if you're looking to sell stuff, none of it is run through the register. It's not you get store credit. Nope. You handle your own transactions. You do your own transactions, and that's your own money. That's all on you. The only thing shop is doing is renting you a table. You make up your prices. They don't go through the front register or anything like that. This is all, bring some change, because
all on you, baby.
People will be bringing cash if you've got a Square, or you want to do, I think Zelle will probably be the big one. You'll probably be Zelling a lot of people. No, Timmy must.
Now, if I was Tim, what I would do is I'd go to the store, stand outside in the glass, and call. And when they answer it, I'd knock on the glass, go, I'd like to rent a table.
Well, I would go to Joe. I would stand and I would call right in front. I'd like to rent a table.
Rent a table, please. That was funny, Joe. That's actually funny.
But yeah, so it's all on you. This isn't like us, because some of the shops will do it, like you get a store credit, which is good for the shop. But again, this is on you. Bring change, do Venmo, make sure you have your Zelle. Venmo will probably be another.
Be ready.
Do we call is that considered cryptocurrency, or like Zelle and stuff, or what is?
No, Zelle's just basically electronic transfer.
Yeah, but I'm just like, is cryptocurrency like another form of currency? I don't know. I don't know if anyone's accepting crypto. That's all I'm trying to say. Is I don't know.
Yeah, crypto's imaginary. It's like monopoly money.
Oh, really?
It's not. I haven't really found any articles yet. I've read a lot about it. And I haven't really found anything that makes me think it's actually a viable currency.
Yeah.
But it seems to be popular. But
whatever.
Every time I hear a story about crypto, it's usually followed shortly by people losing a lot of money.
So if you accept Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, I don't know what the difference is between the two. Whatever.
That's between you and the guy buying it. Because again,
exactly, you do you. So if someone's selling you fake crypto, that's on you. It's not going to be on the shop. It's all on you. I'm sure the shop will probably have extra change on hand and stuff like that.
My advice would be, if you're going to go down and rent a table for the Gamers Garage sale, come prepared.
Yeah.
Bring your own pen and paper. Bring any change you might need, because the other thing that happens when the customers that show up aren't in the garage sale, they're in the store. So the guys in the store are going to be up to their eyeballs as well. So come prepared, be self-sufficient, do your thing.
And the logic behind it's like, a lot of people would be like, well, that's not a good business plan, because you're not making much money renting your tables. Believe it or not, people come ready to buy, and if they don't see anything in the garage sale, they go right next door and they just buy from the shop. So it's good. It's a win-win for everybody.
It's a fantastic marketing situation, because you one of the things about marketing is like for example, GW's whole philosophy about weekly releases.
Right.
It's merely a reason to get people in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Because you may not go in the store to buy that new release, or you may not buy that new release, but you're in the store.
Right. And that's once the foot is in the store, there's a compulsion to buy. If you buy a few paints, you're buying something.
Yeah. And believe it or not, that's how people work. All businesses are like that. I've been down to games and stuff twice to play Dave and just hang out, had a great time. I have yet to walk out and not buy something. because they're a fantastic store.
Right.
But it's also I just use their game tables.
You're paying the game table tax.
Yes.
That's how people should look at it. Like I go to another store. I'm loyal to IOG. Darren's my friend. I love IOG. I love the employees that work at IOG. It's my style. Even though I don't hang out there I don't really hang out there at all. Really, I just go there and shop now.
Used to be you and I got together Saturday.
Yeah, that was like my stomping grounds. But but when I go to another shop, I don't feel like I'm cheating on Darren. It's like I'm paying my tax to the other shop, even if I'm just buying a couple things of paint or maybe a dice set or some cards or something. I buy something because they're small businesses. These aren't big corporate businesses. So I pay. And I think a lot of people come to the Gamers Garage sale like, I want to buy something. And then it's like, ooh, can't. Oh, I'll go next door and I'll buy some, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I've even here, we've had a couple, in the 5 years I've been back, there's been a couple comic game shops.
Yeah.
And unfortunately they don't survive long because Elkton is a very small community. But there'll be a couple of hobby game shop or comic game shops that have opened up. I'll stop in just because I want to see the place.
Sure.
I always buy something because it's like I want a store to take root,
right,
and be there on a regular basis. So if I walk in the door, especially on a brand new shop, I make it a point. I will buy something. I will pick something and I will buy it because it's just also a way to support the community as far as gamers go. So
yeah.
But yeah, Darren, it's a brilliant idea. That brings people in the shop. It endears IOG to the community, on both sides.
Right.
The guys that rent the table, because they're not having to shell out 10% of whatever they made, or they don't have to run their sales through their register and then wait for them to give them store credit or whatever.
$5 is nothing.
They keep their own money. They're responsible for their own money. IOG is doing this to support the community and also generate more traffic.
Right.
That's really what they're going for, is more traffic, and I think it's brilliant. There's two things Darren has done that I think are just phenomenal. Well,
there's more.
That was a great idea from the get-go.
Right.
The one that I have to always compliment Darren on was when we opened the snack bar.
Oh God, yeah.
And Darren came up with the snack cards.
Yep.
And I'm kind of scratching my head, going, not really sure that's going to work. I wasn't naysaying it. But I'm like, I just don't think. I don't think that's going to work. I was so wrong. So wrong. Because one of my area when we first opened the snack bar, it was over on the academy side of the shop. I sat there pretty much every day, and I did snack cards.
Yeah, that's
all the time.
Well,
and I was very quickly came to the conclusion that that's a brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, before the snack card, so most game stores, hobby stores have some sort of beverages and snack food on hand. That is not a new concept. Darren didn't invent that concept. But when he opened the academy, he dramatically expanded. He brought in 2 cold boxes or refrigerator, like soda refrigerators with the glass doors, put up shelving, and just has all kinds of snacks. I think Costco is who he still shops through. Costco comes in.
Yeah. I used to make sure it got stocked. It was Costco. They do a delivery every week whenever
they would drop a pallet of stuff off of sodas, and it got all stocked. And it was John Daly did a lot of work. But what ended up happening is a lot of employees were not wasting time. But it was like I am buying a soda for 50 cents. I don't have 50 cents. Can I use my debit card? No, you can't use your debit card for 50 cents because they charge us 50 cents to use your debit card. Like there was some conflicts with all the.
Yeah, there were some hurdles.
And then a lot of employees were like ringing up sodas all day, and that was taking them away from helping customers. The snack card was perfect. You come in, you buy I think it's $25 snack card or whatever the dollar amount is on them.
Yep.
And then all an employee has to do, any employee can do it now. So if you're in there and you just see an employee walk by, Cody walks by, hey Cody, I'm going to do this. Here's my snack bar. He just signs off on the usage and you're good to go. You just go about your day and you're not having to, it's not taking time. The money's already been received. You're not taking time away. And it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. And Darren and I talk on average about once a week. And every time every time he'll tell me something he's thinking about. He's always he's always picking my brain. This is how he just calls me, and I'll go, I think that'll be really, really good. And I go, or I'll go, well, something, I'm not real sure, buddy, but I doubted you on the snack cards and was completely wrong. So I'm going to go with your judgment. Exactly. Now, that being said, very rarely does Darren come to me with an idea that I think, no, that's not a good idea. And I didn't even think that for the snack card. I just didn't see the benefits of the snack card until I saw it in action. And then I went, oh, that was brilliant. Yeah. So anytime he gives me an idea that I'm on the fence about, which is usually where I end up, my experience says this, but it could be that. I'll go, something, dude, I'm on the fence, or I'm leaning. Yeah, that's a good idea. But the snack card thing, yeah, you're good.
Well, it kind of took me back when I first saw him. It's like, oh, I'm in grade school when we used to, and again, this is an old guy thing.
Lunch card,
you used to get the lunch card, and it was just a photocopied piece of card stock. Your parents would give you like $5 at the beginning of the week. You went and you bought your lunch card. Yeah. And when you went to lunch, they punched your card. Like, okay, I got my lunch for today. And then you use that for the week, and then you throw them away. Usually, it was just a thing. It just kind of took me back to that. It was like, oh, I'm at lunch. I'm getting my lunch card. So
it was a great idea because it freed up a lot of time.
Yes.
Gave a lot more people regular access to the snack bar.
Well, it just made it more convenient because now I didn't have to go up there and have a $2 because the customer feels like, oh, now I don't have to go up there and buy 4 sodas or a soda, this and a that to get to the base minimum, because we had to create a base minimum of what to charge because of debit card fees and all that kind of stuff. No one carries cash. Come on. So it's just reality. So I loved it.
Well, I don't know how many times I'd be over in the academy sitting at my table, and a guy would be asking me prices on the snack bar, and he goes, man, he'd go, I don't have any cash on me today, and then he'd go, oh wait, I still have my snack card. and or I'd say, hey, have you thought about buying a snack card? And he goes, oh no, I already did. I forgot about it. It's like, there you go.
There you go. And it's like a gift card, basically. It's a snack gift card in a roundabout way. So
absolutely brilliant.
Now, if he could just come up with a gift card system where people can just like pre-program what they want, put their thing in there, then pick, and then it unlocked and dropped, like make it like a true snack machine.
I've taken the whole concept a little farther. I've actually asked Cody, can I actually have my check direct deposited
for the
store, and that way we don't have to do all this exchange stuff.
There's no more exchange of goods and services. You just get my whole paycheck, and I just get snacks.
I tell you, if I'm looking for something, I'm always about supporting local guys, and I live here now. But if I don't, 9 times out of 10, when I go to a local shop, they will not have what I'm looking for.
Right.
And I end up the first place I go. I don't go to Amazon. I don't go to online. I literally just call Cody, and I say, Cody, I want you to have this in stock. Yes. Okay. I'm going to send you money. Send me that.
There you go.
That's great.
Commerce in action, as we like to call it. Yeah. So,
they're still my favorite store on the planet. Even though I've been to games and stuff, which is a really nice store.
Sure.
I would pay millions to have Imperial Outpost in Elkton.
I'm sure you would.
I would absolutely do that.
It would take millions because I don't think you have the customer base.
But here's the thing. If you had a shop that was in Elkton, which is a small demographic, but had the reputation of IOG,
it would work.
They would thrive.
And it might have to be a different brick and mortar setup. It may have to dabble a little bit more in some of the other hobby
the thing is, you really wouldn't be able to have the big game space and the academy space.
Right.
But here's the thing: when I opened IOG when I opened Waterloo North on 28th and Cactus, it was a little small, tiny suite. But because of the reputation that Waterloo had of stocking everything deep,
right,
and finding what you're looking for, people came out of the woodwork. And most of the friends I have now are from them coming into one of the shops I worked at previously or coming into Waterloo.
Right.
And I fought tooth and nail with the owner because he was forcing me to stock full line Napoleonic minifigs. And I'm like,
terrible models.
Who on the planet is going to buy Napoleonic minifig? Because they're horrible. They're 15 mil. But he made me do it. It's his shop. He said, that's what I want. So when we did the open order, I had to bring in full line 15 millimeter Napoleonics from minifig. And I thought, well, there's 80 square feet I'm never getting back, or whatever it happened to be. I think it was 6x9 is what we ended up doing. However,
proved you wrong.
Proved me wrong, because once a month, these 6 to 10 guys would show up that lived in Payson or lived, out in the desert, would show up and spend anywhere from $200 to $500
just buying minifigs
every month. Yeah. And I'm like, and one of the things because I've been doing retail for a long time, especially gaming. I've been working in the gaming industry since '87. One of the things I absolutely love is when I have to go, nope, got that wrong.
Yeah,
I learned something today, and I learned that if you stock it, they will come.
Yes, they will.
And when I ran Waterloo, I carried 6 deep minimum on every code. This was back when it was all blisters,
right?
And I mean, characters were all 6 deep, regardless of the character, and squad types were anywhere from 6 to 24. Because one of the things I hated was I would try to put together a unit of something, and I find a blister here, a blister there, a blister here. When you walked into Waterloo, you got what you were looking for. As long as GW had it in stock, I got it in, and I had it in deep numbers, and that was what brought people to the shop. Darren has done the same thing and improved on everything that he and I did at Waterloo. So if you had that reputation of Outpost,
people would come.
In a store in Elkton, it would thrive. It would absolutely thrive.
There you go.
Because people would drive because even when I went to games and stuff, they're a big store. They carry a lot of stuff, but they have a lot of variety. I mean, there's a lot of things there that I've never seen in shops before. But they're not as deep. That's great. But if you actually carry it deep and you have a reputation of having what people are looking for and be able to get what you want when you go there, people will make the trip. They'll make the trip. And also, unlike Phoenix, one of the things I've always loved about Phoenix, or not loved, but noticed about Phoenix, is people don't like to freaking drive. Almost said the F-bomb.
We're deep enough. Nobody would know.
Huh?
We're deep enough into the show.
No. They don't like driving.
Right.
And I get it, because Phoenix is huge.
Yeah.
I'm from an area of the country. I grew up. If you wanted to go to an actual grocery store, it was a 30-mile drive. And it's the same thing now. If I want to go find stuff for gaming, it's a 12 to 75-mile drive.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm done. I'll get off my soapbox now.
Real quick, Victor, thank you. Yes, we thank you. We're the best show on the internet. We love your support. And Aaron said he was watching on YouTube. For some reason, the stream notification didn't show up on Facebook for him. Yeah, who knows? I can't answer that one. I know I posted it, and I know I saw it on my feed. So
it popped up on mine too.
But good morning. Thank you for joining us, Aaron. And that is true what you're saying, because I was really taken back when GW opened a shop in Prescott.
Right.
I was like, that's weird. I didn't understand. I just was kind of like, to me, I just didn't see Prescott as having the customer base for product. Mm-hmm. But you know what? The shop is actually thriving because people are coming. Like it's, even though it's there, it's like basically you're that whole stretch of the state, people are kind of filtering in and coming into. They probably only come in like once a month, but when they come in, they're probably dropping $200, $300, $400, $500, however much money they're spending to buy stuff. And then also, there's no hobby stores up in the Prescott area. Like there's Michael's and Hobby Lobbies that sells some tester products, and
there was a fairly large hobby bench there.
Yes, there was.
That I built.
Yeah, I remember.
But yeah, but it didn't. I don't know if it didn't make it, or Lee just decided it was too hard to manage because it was so far away.
Well, and I used to go to that when I worked in Prescott for a brief time. I used to visit that hobby bench, and
Right.
buy Warhammer miniatures because they had a Warhammer section.
You're
But there's no hobby store. So now it's not only catering to the gaming crowd, but like people that do scale models that want acrylic paints, they can go to the GW store and buy their acrylic paints for their model cars and their model tanks and their model planes, because all they have is what's available at the Michaels and the Hobby Lobbies and the craft paint or buying online. But how much nicer is it when you can go to the store and actually see the colors and do all the things? And so it kind of, it's interesting. It fits your point. If you build it, you stock it, you have a reputation, like it's a GW store, so it has a reputation for having product. You would be able to bring in the customer base.
Absolutely. I remember when I had first started working for Waterloo, and we just opened Waterloo North. I forget what was going on, but I remember being asked by some guys from GW, what would I do as a retailer if GW opened a game shop near me? How did I think that would affect me? And I said, I don't think it would affect me at all. And they were kind of okay, why? That's because I stock everything, and you can also come in here and play, and you have that sense of community when you come in here. And I said, GW is a great shop, but there's nothing you're going to carry that I can't.
Right.
And as long as I make sure I'm on my game and keep stuff in stock, there may be an initial impact. People are going to come see you because you're Games Workshop.
Right. You're in the new store, the new shiny.
You're the new shop. But at the end of the day, if I provide a great place for people to come and play, and I provide stock and they can get everything here, plus additional stuff that you don't carry,
right?
It's not going to affect me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Tim, you're right. Every time new city, go check out the game stores, see what's going on. You never know what kind of job. Like when Jason and I drove back from Gen Con, we stopped at a few different game stores. And I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen that. Like they just had older product that it's out of print, out of production, but they still had one in stock because no one in their local area cared about this particular thing.
Yeah.
I'll take that off your hands. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Anytime I had to travel for Battlefront or for Games Workshop into Southern California, I always made sure I scheduled an extra day just to hit Brookhurst.
Yeah.
Because that was back in the day when they had the big 55-gallon drums of just loose stuff.
The hunting of
yeah.
And I don't think Brookhurst is like that anymore. I think they've really
the father has retired, the son's taken over, and it's still a great store. Don't get me wrong, it's still a great store.
But he's just cleaned it up.
Yeah, back in the day, it was like you were going on an archaeological dig.
Yeah.
What can I find?
Well, because you just take stuff off the shelves and put it in boxes and slide them underneath the shelf, and you would be pulling out boxes from underneath the shelves, and it was it was a little bit like the old Waterloos back in the day. Waterloo was the same way. It's like you had all kinds of random stuff all over the place. You had to go hunting for it because it wasn't laid out.
And only one person. I remember with the GW aisle, two people couldn't walk down it. If somebody was in the section. Yeah. You had a hard because the aisles were like so narrow.
Yeah. Website and look to see what stores carry their products besides the usual hobby shops. Grand Canyon, New York. What? What's that place in Grand Canyon? Mine, who's a professor there, had no idea and told him about it. Huh? That's interesting.
Yeah. A lot of college campuses have gone to where.
Well, and I could see that being probably more of a Gundam store because Gundam is quite the thing. And that's, I think, is it Tamiya? No, Tamiya, Bandai does Gundam. That's it.
Bandai does Gundam.
What they're Tamiya, Grand Canyon. That's interesting.
Tamiya is just one of those. If even people that don't build models on the regular know the name Tamiya.
Yeah, it's a name.
Yeah, I mean, there's a story that someone told me about the World War II museum in the UK that I think it's in the UK. There's a building called the Tamiya building.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally, Tamiya was there getting measurements for kits. And they had this one section, a big concrete slab, and all these World War II vehicles were out in the weather because they didn't have the room to put them in a building. And he literally wrote him a check, said, get those buildings inside something. Or get those vehicles inside that building. And he actually built a building for them.
Yeah.
But Tamiya's been around for a while, and they're huge, and they're gorgeous kits.
Oh, yeah. Tamiya, Bandai. Good stuff.
I wish I had enough time to actually continue. I love building plastic model Tamiya kits. And I don't have the time right now to put into. I've got some lovely Tamiya kits I'd love to be working on.
Well, it's a double-edged sword. It's like I would love to build scale model kits, but then where do I put them when I build them? Because they're not interactive. I don't do anything with them when I'm done.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I really had, like, I wouldn't mind building some of the large remote controlled tanks. Those would be fun, but then again, it's like, it's just another thing.
I also have this odd fascination with 32nd scale aircraft.
Oh yeah,
which once you build that, where am I putting it? Because it doesn't even fit on a shelf.
You're strapping that to your ceiling fan, so it looks like
I mean, I can't build it wheels down because the display is just huge.
Yeah.
So, I guess I got to build it wheels up flying, and I got to hang it somewhere. It's like then I got to clean it. And it's like a mess.
Yeah, to me, it's Aaron's talking about those were my first RC cars. The Frogger. Oh my God, the plastic gear set in that, and I would be out on the street and I would just destroy those Tamiya kits, man. They were
there's a great little hobby shop up just across the border in Delaware that's all RC. And I used to do a lot of RC when I worked for Hobbytown. I ran the races. I had my own car.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of it. And I walked in and I'm like, I have no memory of any of this because technology has just gone nuts.
I got back into it, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's what, brushless motors, LiPo batteries, all of that stuff is in there. You have metal gearboxes now. Those gearboxes are tight. The racing, all kinds of carbon fiber shit, just off the chart. And I got back into it and destroyed those cars even because now my speed was so much better. Yeah. That I'm like, holy, they got cars that are being clocked at 90 miles per hour.
Yeah. The big thing when I was working for Hobbytown, they had just started coming out with the speed controllers that actually recharge the battery.
Oh yeah.
Because anytime an electric motor is the armature in an electric motor is turning but not under power, it generates electricity. And they developed a speed controller that could transfer that back to the power. So it increased your battery life.
Sure.
That was the big thing. But now I was walking around the Hobbytown and there's another shop in Delaware. I'm just like, I don't know any of this. I'd have to relearn pretty much everything.
Holy guacamole. Yeah, you could. Yeah, the stuff that's out today is just like, well, but then again, I watched remote control airplanes. They literally have jet engines, jet engine airplanes that are flying at speed.
They were called they had turboprops when I flew planes, but not actual scale.
Yeah, now they have because the technology of making things like you take a jet engine, you just make it smaller, and you've got a jet engine that you can put in a remote control airplane, and you can fly. It's got the flames shooting out the back, and I did pit crew work for a guy that used to. His name's Bob Gettle. He owns Gettle Air Conditioning locally. Right. One of the brothers that owns it. He had a jet car, and I used to pit for that jet car every once in a while. And whoa, no, thank you. That's some loud stuff because he was a spectator thing. He would just show up, and they would pay him to just run his jet car down the track. Yeah. He made everybody excited, and all the smoke and But that's like risky ass shit, dude. Like you have to know what you're doing to race a jet engine.
No.
Not my thing. I was like,
I've ridden some fast motorcycles, and there's a point that even I go, this might be a little fast.
My job was to rub the sticky stuff on the wheel because it would get all over my.
Oh yeah.
I had to roll on the sticky
traction
stuff
compound,
so that he could actually get traction with a jet engine on the ground. So. Yeah. Well,
I used to do some stuff when I was younger in a motorcycle, which is one of the reasons why I broke my back when I was a kid. That I didn't realize I did. And I was it was actually you were there for one of my eye-opening recollections that I'm old and changed. Because I used to ride motorcycle anywhere, everywhere. Didn't matter what it was. I rode a Magna once. I was at like 165 miles an hour, and no helmet. Just
go
firing down the highway. And then when I tried to load my motorcycle in the back of the I'm like, nope,
Nope.
nope.
Ain't happening.
There was a day that I would have just went, and whether I went off or not, that never entered my mind. I just knew I had to do it. And when I lined that my big VTX up and went, I'm going to run up this ramp, my brain went,
Nope.
if you screw this up, that thing's coming off. And not only is your bike going to be destroyed, but you could get hurt. And I just went, nope.
And I don't think you were worried too much about destroying the bike. You were worried about
more about me destroying me. Yeah. So, but yeah, and that's just the bravery or stupidity of youth. I don't know what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
1.6 our helicopter called the
helicopters are insane.
No, I'm not flying out. I think my one memory, like, I was impressed. One day I'm out on the track. So we have a track off the I-10 and the 101. Now I had my car out and I'm racing it and I'm in my pit and I'm charging and you do repair work. Some dude goes up with his brand new helicopter with his girl. Because it's an RC park, and he comes out there to fly his helicopter. We all stop to watch because we're all like, oh, yeah, helicopter, these are cool. Up and down, crash. I'm like, there goes $5,000.
There was a guy named Gary that used to work at Hobby Bench in Paradise Valley Mall when I first got to Arizona, helicopters then were fairly new and they were really expensive. And he was so good with his helicopter, he ended up getting a job flying the blimps and stuff in the Phoenix Sun Stadium with the cameras.
Yeah.
But I watched him because people want to talk about helicopters can't go inverted. Well, they actually can, because all you got to do is change the pitch of the rotors. But he used to invert his helicopter and hover it. He would have a table with a 10-penny nail stuck in the center. And he would hover it upside down just above that 10-penny nail and then go up, flip back over, and go flying. And he was brilliant with a helicopter early on. It was insane. But watching him fly was brilliant.
And that's a whole different set of circumstances.
My first radio-controlled aircraft, my trainer was called Post Hole Digger 1. And then when I built my second trainer, it was called Post Hole Digger 2.
Yeah, my first trainer did the same thing.
Yeah.
I got like a circle going and crashed because up is down, down is up. And if you don't remember, it's just a brain switch.
Yeah.
If you don't switch it, you're going down. And it's light touches. That's what a lot of people don't. It's not like, and again, I was RC carring it. What do you do with an RC car? Full throttle, you go. Airplanes, when you want to turn, you just don't go. You just barely move it. It's a very gentle touch, and I don't have a gentle touch. As we know. All right, everybody. Like we're past our time, so.
Oh no.
Well,
now, I'm gonna make a I don't want to say prediction because when I do that it's wrong, but I really want to try to paint next week online.
I should be all set up. I think like the whole show, no problem.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So let's
let's plan on getting some paint done next week.
Yeah, because that was an issue because if my video kept going out.
Yeah, it kept going blurry. I get it.
So we'll do some painting. Also, May 25th, no go for a show.
Okay.
That's my birthday, and we're gonna be at Fan Fusion.
That's next weekend.
Is that next weekend?
Yeah, today's the 18th.
Oh shit. That's next weekend. I'm sorry, buddy.
Okay. No worries. I may scour for a guest host. I don't know.
Yeah. So next weekend I won't be available.
Okay.
Because I turned a whopping 54. I'm old. It's an age.
Now, just so you're aware, on a Saturday show in July, it'll be my birthday.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a big one for you.
61.
I know. You're a wee pup. Yes, I am a wee pup. But you know what? I'm excited about this birthday because it's just one more year close to retirement.
I'm not 100% sure, but next weekend, instead of canceling the show, I may pop on and work on my dreadnought.
There you go. Well, you can just do a solo like work and play.
Yeah, I can do my I can work on my dreadnought and just kind of talk and just kind of maybe on for an hour. I may do that. I don't know yet. I'll announce it when I decide.
Yeah, well, you'll have to set it up. So there you go.
Yeah. So we'll set it up.
But yeah, so next weekend I didn't know it was that quick.
That's next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're halfway through May of 2024, Keith.
Jeez.
Where does the time
go? We're all downhill. We're just rolling downhill.
Yeah.
It's a speed. Anyway. All right, everybody. So we're gonna bounce out of here. So maybe Jeff will be on next week. Maybe he won't. But then I'll be returning.
Oh well, David is saying please do that. So I may do that. I may do that for Dave.
All right, and then we'll return on June 1st together.
Yep.
I'm sorry, please. Yeah. Because all right. So that's the rundown. Okay. So mark your calendars.
Yep. Actually, I'll just go ahead and say, unless something comes up, I will be here next Saturday and I'll work on my dread or I'll work on some project on camera.
All right. I'm just happy. I think I got my computer fixed.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Not a problem the whole show.
Yeah, and it may be one of those. It could be that the second monitor was pulling too much for the video card and that was creating some issue. But I think it's the bandwidth. And I think something was pulling my data.
Yeah, I think that was why I had to get rid of my phone. My phone got to the point that I had to get rid of most of my apps and have them shut off because I just couldn't handle what I was trying to do. And because your computer's older, there was probably a bunch of stuff going on. So I think it's good. I think the rabbit hole paid off.
There you go. All right, everybody. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Jeff will see you next weekend.
I'll be here next week.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
See you guys.